Welcome back, viewer. If you are just joining us, you're watching GBS Morning Extra. On this morning, it is the 22nd day of the month of January 2020, and I'm really glad that you've joined us. My name is Timothy Mundi. As I promised earlier, today I have with me a guest that will excite you. His story is very interesting. He gained his sight in his 20s, and after gaining his sight, he pursued his dream of becoming a pilot. And right now, he can fly a plane. Yes, some of you may know him, some of you may not. I'm talking about Daniel Odongo, who is a pilot. But most of you who know him refer to him as the blind pilot. Today, he is with us in studio to share with us some of the progress that he's made and the work that he's doing right now. Daniel, karibu sana.
Thank you.
It's been long since we met. I think sometime last year but one?
Last year should be last year.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Now, Daniel, to our viewers who don't know anything about your story, who is Daniel and Daniel ametoka wapi?
Yeah, of course, I'm the one called Daniel Odongo. I was born blind, but I got my sight back like 2 years down the line. And when I got my sight back, I want to pursue a course in flying, and I made it there because I already have the license.
That's Daniel in a nutshell.
Daniel.
Now, Daniel, we know that you've been involving yourself in a lot of social activities, and also mainly geared towards helping children without sight get a better education. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about this and what kind of work you're doing with this organization, and what's the name of the organization?
Yeah, when I got my sight back and I was able to fly a plane for the first day back in 2017 in December, I said lots of volunteer and also give much of my time back to the community and especially children living with visual disability. So we came up with a group by the name Blind Pilot Kenya. This one was to motivate people living with visual disability that it's better to become blind than to lack a vision. Because the head of vision will become a pioneer pilot with visual disability, it has happened.
Sure.
And what we do, normally we engage the community by raising funds, take these students or pupils to school.
Right.
We help them to pay school fees. We also go ahead to buy for them white cans, where I always prefer my white can is my sight. Eye drops from other partner organizations that we are working with to make sure that they also live a very comfortable life like any other child in the community.
So these are the kind of initiative that you put in place to be able to help these young. As you're doing this work, there may be a lot of, critics and also a lot of questions as, when we do such kind of a work, we realize that there are challenges. Sure. And of course, challenges are always there. But then what are the challenges and how are you yourself as an individual, Daniel, bracing up to these challenges and, going against them?
One, the fact that I've accepted that I was born from a very poor family background, and I've always come up with this slogan that if I'm poor, I'm not a fool. And I've always tried as much as I can to work with other people, especially the media houses, our groups, churches, and social organizations to see on how we can support one another. Because I believe when you come two or more than one, you can always make it. Sure. But you cannot stand on your own. Yes.
Daniel, just to take our viewers a little bit back, I can see a picture that has been displayed there. I bet, who is Daniel there? The small boy or the boy standing at the back?
The boy standing behind there. I'm always very keen. Yeah.
How old were you?
But then I was about 5 years of age.
5 years
back
of
in
age.
1998.
So that time you've not gained your sight yet.
Yeah, by then I was totally blind because of stabilization of lens.
All right.
That's why you see those from a distance, the eyesight, it seems as if I'm seeing, but I was not seeing anything.
Not seeing anything.
Yes.
But then, Daniel, when we met for the first time, and I would like you to share this a little bit with our viewers. When we met for the first time, I remember it was on a different show, different platform, but you narrated to me your deal, how you grew up and how you ended up living with your grandmother. Maybe to our viewers who have never heard this story, kindly would you just do you mind just giving us a brief on that, how you ended up living with your grandmother and later getting, scholarship with the sisters in Kakamega.
So what happened is this, here my father just discovered I'm blind by asking me to go get him a spoon that was placed on a stool somewhere there. But instead of picking the spoon, I knocked the stool and fall down. So he said, hey, imagine I've given birth to a child who is blind. And in our community, where I come from, the paternal side, there was nobody who had a visual disability. So they tried to push it and saying that it's coming from the side of the maternal side. And now to make sure that that marriage was working for both couples, my mother decided to take me to her grandmother, to her mother, who was my grandmother. I was there, and she was a very staunch Catholic woman. So every other time she could take me in front of the Catholic church during the service, and any time we used to have any prayer meeting in the church, she could take me there. So when she was growing older and older, that was like she was getting to about 95 of age. In 1998, when she was just about to pass away, the Catholic nun that one was standing next to me, Sister Ignatius Were, they came, visited my grandmother's hut, and asked me, young man, what are you doing here? Are you supposed to be in school or are you supposed to be at home? I told them, I don't know, but you can inquire from the grandmother. So she came out saying that she's my grandson, and he's unable to see, and she has just been praying for me to live a better life.
So that time the Catholic sister discovers that this kid is not going to school.
Yes.
Who is she among?
She's the one in the gray. She's short and black lady.
So she's the one who saw you and asked what you're doing at home and not going to school.
Go to school. Now she was so much touched. Then she asked me to go to the convent, where I began now my journey.
All right.
In the year 1999. I was taught how to pray effectively, how to go to the toilet, how to do a lot of things.
Okay.
Like
by yourself, just to be independent?
Yeah, to be independent. I tried my level best to go to St. Anne's Primary School. It never worked for me because it was a girls' school. St. Peter's, and I also made an attempt, but I couldn't see. So they could ask me, how will you be able to learn if you are not able to see the blackboard? I was sent away from the school, but she never got ahead with me. She gave me an opportunity to go to Kibo School for the Blind, Kisumu County, where I did my primary school, and later joined Thika High School for the Blind for my secondary education.
Secondary school.
Yes.
So that's quite a journey, I would say, and that's Thika?
Yeah, that's Thika School for the Blind, and by then I was a journalist club chairman. There we are at Thika High School, at Thika High.
Thika High.
Yeah, Thika High in Thika in Kiambu County.
At this time, you've not regained your sight?
Yes. In fact, those who were standing with me was Kamau, and the other one was Masharia. And the one who have been holding my hand along the pathway, moving from one side to another, just to make sure that I'm safe.
You guys still see each other?
We have never known each other since then. Maybe if they know me because they've seen me in the media, but to me, I can't trust where they are. I've never had contact with them.
So, where do you go after high school in Thika?
Yeah, I went to Kenyatta University for degree in special needs education. I was not so satisfied. As much as I did a degree in special needs education, the main aim here was to see how I can also give back to the community, especially children living with visual disabilities. But my dream has always been being a pilot. So there it was to give back now to the community, by being a specialist in that area of visual impairment.
So you studied through, and you narrated an ordeal to me where you were in class and you're trying to answer a question, but then the lecturer could not pick you because he thought, hey, you're blind. How can you answer? Maybe you can share with us about that.
Of course, people look at people living with disability in a very strange way.
Sure.
When I was trying much of my level best to make sure that I was also able to participate in the classroom, it wasn't that easy. So there's a question they're asking, exponential e raised to power 5, and you have to apply derivative law, substitution, differentiation, integrate, then you're able to get the answer. So when the other students were trying to give answers, they were giving wrong answers, and it is not pleasant.
Sure.
So I decided, okay, let me try my level best. I tried to cut my hand up, you can't even recognize me. says now this blind one. How if people who have sight they are not able to answer this? What about this
How
one?
can this blind
So I
answer?
decided to stand on my chair and carried up my braille machine, and I told
In the lecture hall, you stood on your chair.
Yes, I told him, please let me have that. Let me also make a trial. So when I did my attempt, and he was writing on the board, I was able to get the answer correctly. And since then, the whole class clapped for me. Everybody knew me in the university, that class, and that's how I made it to be where I am today. Since then, you've had a very good relationship with them.
Sure.
Yes.
How do you finally get your sight, Daniel? I believe that was during your university days.
Yes, when I was getting to my third year in the university, that was back in 2016, is when I was sick. And I was taken to the Kikuyu hospital after going through the first aid at the university. Then the same sister came, visited me at the hospital, and she was told, kindly, we are requesting you with your permission to allow us to perform surgery to Daniel Odongo. And I said, no, I am not interested, because I was very much comfortable the way I was.
The way you are.
Because having lived for those more than 25 years being blind, I was very much comfortable with that. But after persisting with Dr. Miloth, she asked me, I had to agree, just to please them, because she's the one in charge of me. She's my mother, she's my parent. All along, I've never seen my parents. Now, I accepted. I went through the surgery, with the left eye being the first one to be done, the surgery. And then later moved to the second eye, the right eye. I was able to get my sight partially. Then I said, now if I'm able to see a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm also learning how to identify colors and all this. I need just to give back to the community by appreciating the work that God has done to me through the sisters and well wishes. Yes.
So that's how you started.
Yeah, that's
so you went for surgery that time and you got your sight partially.
Yes.
Did you go for another surgery to?
Yeah, I went through a series of surgery and also changing the eye drops from one type to another.
All right.
And that's how I was able to recover my sight fully. Yes.
Daniel Odongo, something very important that I want us also to discuss today, and I'd like us to take a very short break, but then when we come back after this break, I want us to talk about your nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize, and I'm really honored to have you here, and I believe that, winning or not winning, a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize is not something that any one of us can take lightly in any part of the world, whoever you are. So, Daniel, we'll take a short break right now, but then when we come back, I want us to talk about this and also on some of the challenges and initiatives that you're trying to put together to be able to make this a reality. Viewer, we now take a short break, and when we come back, we want to talk to Daniel about his nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. Welcome back, viewer. If you are just joining us, you're watching GBS Morning Extra with me, Timothy Omondi. Today I'm joined by one Daniel Odongo. Most of you know him as the blind pilot. Daniel is sharing with us his story. And right before the break, Daniel, I mentioned, Daniel has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for 2020. And that, I would say, is a great honor, Daniel, having you here.
Thank you.
And this is not just for you. I think this is for our country. And it's you. I would say your winning of this award would go a long way in, of course, promoting our country. Kenya has also produced a Nobel Peace Prize winner before, Professor Wangari Maathai. We've had quite a number of nominations, but then not all of them have sailed through. What was your first reaction when you received this news, and how did you receive the news that you've been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for 2020?
One, I'm always optimistic, and I know I was going to be nominated. Back in the year 2019, I was the best innovative pilot, trainee pilot at Wilson Airport. And you can see me flying with my instructor.
With the instructor, yeah.
Yes. And it was so very much impressive, the way I do, the way I tilt, the way I yaw, and the way I try to make sure that I'm putting all angles in order to get on the point of attack when I'm landing, I'm taking off. And above all, they were so much impressed the work that I'm doing for the community, especially coming up with the initiative of maybe like branding pens and selling to the public. Right now, you're activating them at JKIA at Terminal 1E, just raise funds and say on how you're going to buy materials to be used by children living with visual disabilities.
So the pens you're branding, you also are trying to raise funds with this.
Yes.
And maybe if my cameraman can just get this, we can just get a glimpse of that. Yes. If you can remove the CG bar kindly. Yeah, that's a branded pen. Yeah, Daniel, you can proceed.
Now, with those kind of pens, we decided to come up with the local community initiative because most of them, they were saying, like especially the Form 1 intake this year. The CS Mago has emphasized so much about 100% transition, which is very important.
Sure.
But now go to the local community, they'll tell you, we are willing to accept these children the way they are, having visual disability, but will they just come and sit in class like that without even writing and taking notes? Yeah. So I said, okay, I'll try as much as I can to see how I can bring the writing materials closer to you people so that they can also be assisted. So we decided to partner with the Kenya Institute for the Blind KIB by asking them to help us get the slates, stylus, and abacus and braille papers at a small cost. Slates, right now, one single piece of a slate goes at 2,500. 2,500. Yes.
Very little children from coming from these disadvantaged families could afford that.
Not everybody can afford that. Most of these people that I'm handling, especially those children, they're from poor family backgrounds, and most of them are left by the old grannies. So old granny comes to you crying and saying, now my granddaughter or my grandson has 350 marks. I can't afford to take her to a boarding school. But I'm very comfortable her going to a day school near me, which is about 4,000. But she doesn't have writing materials, braille papers, slate, stylus, talking calculators. And I challenged him with the professor. I wrote to him a letter requesting for an appointment so that at least we discuss this and see if you're talking about 100% transition. What about those children who have visual disability and they're willing to go to a normal school or regular school within their locality where they're comfortable? This is why I began pushing boundaries for inclusion, that even that child with visual disability can also get that knowledge from the school setup within the environment where he is very comfortable at home. But now when you're able to make this environment available and suitable for him to access, one, by providing these materials for them. Last year, in the final exams at Thika School for the Blind, high school, there were so many, like about 2 of them students got an A-. And this after me, myself in person, going there, talking to them and telling them that let us use these obstacles and challenges that we're having to turn them into opportunities. And they promised and they made it. In fact, even the professor congratulated my work.
Sure.
Yes. And above all, when I got this nomination to the Nobel Peace Prize, I knew I was going to be nominated. One, because the previous year was the best innovative pilot. And I had a donor who is based in Netherlands. He's the one who communicated to me saying, congratulations, you are a beneficiary of our sponsorship since the year 2000 to the year 2016. And above all, we honor you and we would love you to be our global ambassador, and especially now that you have been nominated in the Nobel Peace Prize. In the Nobel Peace Prize, it is automatic that I have to win because they don't look for people who are rich.
That's optimistic.
Very much optimistic about it.
Sure.
They only look for innovativeness and how great impact you put to the community.
To the community around you.
Because everybody can participate.
Sure.
And above all, I'm the only one and the first one with a visual disability to be nominated, and I have a better chance being the best.
Oh, we're praying for you, Daniel. I personally am praying for you that you win this.
Thank
Daniel, when you received this news, what went through your mind, Daniel? Despite just being, expecting to be nominated, but then something must have gone through your mind. What were you thinking at that moment when you got the news?
Yeah, of course, one, I had to thank God because I believe in God. I also go to church, and especially from the environment where I've been brought up, because after going through all that, once you get to the age of 18 years, you're no longer able to stay with sisters. So I had to move all the way from Gong, where they have their house, and I found my way at Madare, St. Moras.
All right.
I've been living St. Moras, Madare since the year 2014. By the time I was second year at Kenyatta University. I've been moving from up and down.
Yeah.
You go to Madare North this time around because of challenges of rent. You go to Kiamaiko, you come back to Mabatini, and that's how I live and survive in Madare.
And Daniel, for our viewers who don't know about your story, Daniel actually one time worked partly as a cobbler and, you know, went through many challenges. At the same time, you were sharing with me the last time that we met.
Yeah, I did that for the purpose of raising at least little cash to support myself.
To support yourself,
and to support also on how I can also get maybe like transport and small part of the school fees at the aviation. This is because I never wanted to become a thief. Because even after graduating from the university and you don't have a stable job, automatically you'll be forced to steal. But now I'm comfortable because I did this for the purpose of making sure that I live an independent life without bothering people. But as we speak today, the challenge that I'm having so much is how I'll get to Netherlands. Because one, they've volunteered or they've given a helicopter from Netherlands, Chisafol, to Norway. But now getting from Kenya to Netherlands is a challenge. I've been trying to engage the CS Cabinet Secretary, the former Foreign Affairs, Monica Juma. I've also done that with the Cicely Karaoke, the health, and a number of them. But most of them, they've turned me down. They say, see, the budget is so strict and we are not even allowed to support any other person, or unless we get an instruction from the office of the president or the president himself. But with us, our hands are tied up.
They can do for you.
That's why I came up with the...
It's quite unfortunate. I mean, a Nobel Peace Prize nominee, someone who is working with the community and is doing a lot for the community. Okay, it's the system, but yeah, you're saying something. Proceed.
So I decided to come with the pay bill number for this group. That is 54 74 21.
54
74
74
21
21.
Account number I.
Account number is
I. I'm targeting
I for I. I-E-Y-E.
Yes, I. I'm trying to raise like only 200,000.
Okay.
100,000 shillings is going to cater for the air ticket, and another 100,000 shillings is going to cater for the materials that are going to be used by these children.
All right.
Because when I'm going to collect the nomination certificate, I'll ask you, since he nominated you, what have you done for the community? Definitely. At least I can say, I can have that energy to say, okay, look here, when I got this nomination, I've been going through friends, I was able to raise this much, I bought these items for the children, and they are now inclusively accommodated in their community, and they're also learning like another child in the community. Yes.
Now, you are just informing me, from the Netherlands, you'll be going to the Netherlands, and then from the Netherlands now to collect your nomination certificate in Norway.
Yes.
When is this going to take place?
It's supposed to be on 29th.
29th of this month.
Yeah, this month. But I was told to arrive in Netherlands before 27th.
Before 27th?
27th.
Daniel, so today is the 22nd.
Today is the 22nd. I only have today
so you have
up to 26th. I had planned to travel either by Friday, 24th, or 26th latest, just to be there on time.
How long is the flight?
The flight is going to take like about 8 hours and 26 minutes for you to reach there.
Okay.
I'll be received by the former donors. They'll be taken to their office. Shall also have a better chat. Also go to brave me or to give me the skills that I need while I'll be making my presentations. But what I want to assure the Kenyans, on 10th of December 2020, I should be bringing home a trophy as a winner.
That's amazing.
Automatic guaranteed.
That's amazing. We're praying for you. So your pay bill number is 547421. Account number is I. That's EYE. Viewer, if you're watching this and if you would like to support Daniel, he's supposed to be in the Netherlands by the 27th of this month. Today we're on the 22nd, so he has roughly 3.5 days, if I'm not wrong. So the paybill number is 547421. Account number is I. Now, Daniel, before I let you go, at this time, as you're engaging the community and as you're going about your daily activity, Daniel, what hope do you have for this organization that you started, the Blind Pilot? If you win the Nobel Peace Prize, what do you want to do for the young people? Because, of course, we know that the Nobel Peace Prize comes with some financial assistance, not for personal use, but for one to inject back into the initiatives that they are doing.
I've gone through disability. I've been blind for the last 25 years. I know the pain of having that disability. And that's why I said, in a nutshell, that I'll be the first person to be opening the world for a child with disability. One is to make sure that these children also live an independent life like any other person, that get the necessary support and well included. Because I've also gone through suffering and rejection, and it was so painful. It has affected me until today.
Sure.
I've never even thought of having a family because of what I went through during the early childhood. And that's why I'm pushing so hard for this inclusion, so that even those who are having disability and those who do not have a disability should accept one another as Jesus Christ has accepted us the way we are. Yes.
Well, quite a great vision, Daniel, quite a great vision. And I mean, it's quite important also that our viewer note that, people who live with different forms of disability, they also need the love and care from, the family members, from friends, from society.
Sure.
And would you say that, I mean, to some extent, the Kenyan government has done quite some work in terms of allowing, the inclusive system of education? Because I understand that there are some schools with, I would say normal kids that has units that accommodate children living with disability.
Yeah, in fact, has really tried so much. It's only that in Kenya you have so many document policies, but implementation is another issue. Like we have this sector policy for learners and trainees with disabilities that was launched by His Excellency the President.
Yes.
But if you look at it, the way it has been documented is so nice. But now when it comes to terms of implementation, everybody cries. Even those departments, the state departments that handles persons with disabilities, they'll tell you we don't have funds. It's not about having funds. It's about now how to come up with implementation idea, systems, and how to access these funds.
Because if it's a state docket, then it means that there must be funding, there must be a budget allocated for this.
Yeah, it is, but normally they channel through only one organization, and that is National Council for Persons with Disabilities. And it is overwhelmed. There are those who have visual disabilities, physical disabilities, hearing disabilities, and all these people, they have to report to the same organization. It's like centralized.
Yeah, it's centralized.
So
it needs to be devolved.
True. It is.
No wonder, the organization found itself in a lot of trouble over many issues regarding people living with disability. But if, looking at all this, Daniel, just as we wind up, you are now a pilot. You are now a pilot.
Yes.
And what message would you give to the young people out there, living with disability or not, just young people maybe who are going through some difficult time and they think there's no hope for me?
As I said, it's better to be blind than to lack a vision. One, have a vision, uphold and work on that vision, it will always materialize.
Sure.
The only problem that we have with young people is to lose focus.
They lose focus.
They lose focus. And above all, they can always get engaged with me on a daily basis at any other point. And I'm also seeking for the more and more followers on my social media handles.
With what name do you go?
YouTube at Blind Pilot Kenya. On Twitter at Blind Pilot Kenya. On Instagram at Blind Pilot Kenya.
All right.
And you can also like our page at Blind Pilot Kenya. At least we're going to learn more and more to know that it's not easy to make it in life, but you have to work way out on how you should make it in life.
That's quite amazing. Daniel, thank you very much once again for joining us here today and on such a short notice, I must confess. But then, viewer, I mean, the story of Daniel speaks volumes, and a Nobel Peace Prize nominee, that's something. And I believe that, what's the criteria? How do they vote? I mean, let me just ask, have you been, briefed on the rules of engagement?
They got me on the social media, Blind Pilot in Kenya.
Right.
After that, they also contacted people in Kenya to confirm whether I'm able to fly a plane.
All right.
This is why I did a practical lesson with my instructor there, Captain Mushara. And above all, they wanted to see, apart from being unique in the country, what else do you do for the community? And that's how I was able to be nominated, because I've been handling so many cases and interacting with the community regarding persons with disabilities.
And there's proof to that.
It is a proof.
I mean, well, quite interesting. We do hope, and let me go with your optimism. You are going to win this
Nobel
prize.
You can count
I'm sure.
on me.
And Daniel, if you win that, we are doing your first interview after you land in Kenya on this desk on Morning Extra.
We will for sure. I promise you for that.
Thank you. I am also very expectant of that, viewer. Like Daniel mentioned, and I would like to just send this appeal once again. Daniel is trying to raise funds to go to the Netherlands, as he mentioned. He has to go to the Netherlands, and then from the Netherlands already there is an organization that has accepted to give him, to airlift him to Norway to pick his certificate, his nomination certificate. But then still, he needs funds to do this. He was not successful after engaging different ministries here in the country. They need a presidential consent or an order directly from State House to allow them to do this, because they don't have a budget. That's what they said, according to what we heard from Daniel. But he formed a pay bill number for helping him raise the money. 547421 is the pay bill number. The account number is that's EYE. EYE is the account number. The pay bill number is 547421. We do hope that all well wishes, you will send your support to Daniel as according to what you have and according to how your heart moves you. And let us support Daniel. Let us spread the word. Let us speak about this. And I believe that he's a pride to our country. Well, viewer, we have come to the end of our program this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. To keep the conversation going, you can use our hashtag GBS Morning Extra. Our Twitter handle is @KenyaGBS. My name is Timothy Omondi. Do have yourself a lovely day, and God bless you. See you again tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.